It's perfect. Just the other day, I went to take a sip of coffee, and guess what? It was cold. It was ice cold.
When I stumbled over a rock and fell apart.
I bet you did.
I think I'm gonna take this little bad boy in there for a test drive. I'll get his bosom going. Oh, no, thank you. I'm told one time. I'm gonna take no for an answer. Please.
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? So in today's video, we're going to be taking things a little bit more back to 2020, to one of the first analog horror videos that I ever covered, an analog horror series called Harmony and Horror.
That's how I got introduced to the series.
And the last time we talked about Harmony and Horror was pretty much exactly a year ago, or at least roughly. So if you do need a little bit of a refresher, I do have a playlist linked with every single video that I've covered on the series.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go through all of these,
I did that idea
a quick little recap of this one.
in the
So yes,
comments.
it has been a very long time since we've visited this series. So
I
if you have been sticking around this
attempted
long,
to do
thank you so
Miracle
much.
Shot.
And yes, I'm very excited to get
I
back
told
to
him
it.
to do that.
The latest installment in the Harmony and Horror series
I
is
told
a
him.
remarkable one,
I
with new
told him.
revelations that completely change the entire series. It's an episode that is guaranteed to haunt you for a very long time. Like this one is filled with very disturbing moments. Not only do we dive further into the lives of the characters we already know, characters like Gloria, Martin, and Arthur, all characters that met horrible fates. Martin eventually becoming the sadistic clown, Arthur being killed by his own brother Martin and turned into the ice cream man, and Gloria killed by her own husband Martin when it was discovered that she was having an affair with his brother Arthur.
Start with my brows and work your way out.
It'll honestly help me, so if you could do that, thank you.
Google Nick Google. Don't be scared.
Called Harmony and Horror, The Miracle.
I really have to go.
In the introduction of this tape, we're shown an argument going down between Martin and his wife.
I want to.
So you were dating someone new and decided that that wasn't information that your deceased wife's father needed to know. No, Nancy and I, we haven't even been on an official date yet. Wait, you're not dating?
So within the segment, Martin is going
No
into
wonder she
detail
ran
stating
out of
how his
here.
last chance
You were
at
acting
having a
like you were
child
already an
of his
item.
own flesh and
You
blood
posed
was
on.
thrown.
No, I wasn't.
Furthermore, going on to state that he is unwilling to adopt a child, and the only way he'd be willing to have a child is if it was his own flesh and blood.
I think history. Did I say the lady? Now you landed, my daughter is
And at the beginning of the conversation, Gloria goes on to mention how Charlotte, their neighbor, found
How's that lip syncing?
and that puppy eventually becoming the dog we
Hello,
know
Patsy?
as stop. Eventually, Martin descends into the depths of his basement to work on a new toy. And after this devastating conversation, this is the beginning of the rift that eventually drives this couple completely apart.
It's the original storyboard from Star Wars.
Well, you know.
I don't deserve this.
Hey,
Sure what you're getting me, Lee.
The next thing we're shown is a letter from someone named Eddie.
Time for Master to see Daddy.
My name
And
is
I'm gonna
Eddie
film
Miller.
it.
This
For no
year for
reason.
Christmas, I want a doll. I asked for a Stitch Buddy last year, but it doesn't work. I think your elves broke it. I left some milk and cookies for you. I hope you like them. This year,
More like kisses.
I finally
More of that.
captured Santa on camera. I'm going to stay up all night. I can't wait to see the reindeers. Immediately after this, we're shown the perspective of Eddie hiding in an attempt to photograph Santa Claus.
In my dreams, I saw your face. I've been wanting to
He's here. I heard him on the roof. I can't believe it. Mom and Dad aren't home yet, but that's okay. I'll capture it.
Make my Christmas wish come true.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll capture it all on camera for you. And here it becomes evident that whoever or whatever has entered Eddie's home is a home intruder with malicious intent. Eddie looks at the entity hovering over the Christmas tree and snaps a photograph. The demonic creature begins to chase Eddie throughout the hallways of his home. As Eddie hides in his closet, the creature fails to notice him. That is, until a Henry doll sprints towards Eddie. Eddie got what he wanted, a Henry doll, and within it, the mutated corpse as created by Martin himself. Because if we recall from previous episodes, Martin was the creator of this entire ordeal. Martin was skinning children and placing their innards into Harmony toys. His first experiment was with his dog Bonzo, which he skinned and placed into the Stitch Buddy toy, thus turning him into this monstrosity that eventually would go on to kill his own son.
You're just
Martin then would eventually move on to living subjects, as we saw before. These included the intern he hired a few years prior, as well as moving on to his entire family, killing each and every family member, and then turning them into corresponding toys, as well as killing an entire group of children. The only person exempt from this transformation into a toy was Gloria, Martin's wife, who became a spirit rather than being encased within a toy. However, now that we've uncovered the fact that Martin was left infertile, where did his two children come from? A question we'll dive into as we progress.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Oh, thank God. Because I love our kids, but I don't...
Yeah, I didn't notice that before. Okay.
speaking of surprises.
Good morning.
The next segment of the video is titled Arthur's Speech, and within this segment, it's revealed to us that Arthur Greywinder is still alive, being encased in the Ice Cream Man suit for 7 years,
For 7 years.
finally free from the shackles of the suit, a suit that his own brother stuffed him inside.
As many of you are aware, I was announced dead 7 years ago. After being lost for so long, I was finally found on February 21st, 1993.
In previous episodes, we saw the monster that Martin had turned Arthur into. Martin performed the ritual on Arthur, which is why we saw this demonic form of him that he used to finally kill Martin.
I mean, you look especially.
Within his speech, he also goes on to mention how his face has been permanently disfigured from Martin's attack and the ritual that was performed on him, and that now he has to wear a mask to hide his disfigurement. In the next part of Arthur's speech, he goes into detail about the new arcade that he's planning on opening in honor of change, and as a way to heal the scars of the past. This, of course, referring to all of the people that Martin had murdered. Essentially, Arthur is trying to change the entire brand of Harmony Toys, but maintaining the characters.
Welcome you all to the grand opening of the Harmony Arcadia. It provides love and care at our new daycare center. It provides food and drinks with our new cafe.
Arthur continues to detail all the amenities at the new location. And the biggest standout from these new inclusions is a new security system in the form of Henry dolls, which already you can probably guess that these things are probably going to turn on us and
True.
kill people. First off, they're 5'4", which is insanely tall for a security bot. They weigh 87 pounds and are made with carbon fiber and hardened steel. After that quick segment, we're also told that the bodies of the and killed by Martin are also finally brought home.
Welcome back, our brave miracles. The 8 missing individuals that were taken from us those 7 years ago.
All of them being able to be laid to rest except for one person. That person being Martha Clementine, who's the character that I'm pretty sure is the first time that we've been introduced to. Either that or I'm missing her from my notes, but let me know if we've been introduced to her before. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've seen a Martha Clementine in the series. Martha appears to have been shot and killed in one of the new facilities.
You've been holding out on us at home.
Babe, you have to try this amazing fresh. Everyone's genuinely loving it.
The next segment in the video is a commercial for the Henry toy, an old broadcast from when Martin and Arthur still ran the company M&A Toys together. During the segment, Henry mentions that his eyes are missing.
That's right. My eyes are missing. That's right. My eyes are missing. My eyes are missing.
Which is a reference to one of the first episodes of Harmony and Horror, where Thomas begs his father to put his eyes back in. The Henry toy asks the viewer to help put him back together, and he begins to get reassembled.
Hey, Barney Fife.
Wonderful.
This entire little segment is extremely eerie as each limb is being reassembled. Henry has a complete empty stare and is just staring into the soul of the viewer as if plotting something truly sinister when he's fully assembled. And the last thing to be assembled are Henry's eyes. And as we recall from previous episodes, Arthur would use his children for these Harmony toy commercials, as we saw with his daughter Sophia and Ava as well. And this time around, he's using his son Thomas, who he's blinded. The scene switches and we see Thomas restrained to a metal board, as Arthur grants Thomas his vision back by placing his eyeballs into the Henry toy's eye sockets, a vessel that Thomas is trapped
You're gonna
within.
criticize my life decisions today. Okay. Look,
I'm getting back together with my husband, which is my choice.
okay. You don't know me, Matt.
The next scene is of the inside of Thomas's room, and in a single frame we're given this news article from November 11th, 1985, which states the following.
I'm just worried you're
This
going back to
morning
the life
on
you seem
November
happy to be
11th,
free of.
1985, the bodies of 2 young boys, Richard Smith and Nathan Barnes, were dug up from the Marnabelle Cemetery. Detective Harold Stewart is conducting an investigation for the whereabouts of these 2 young boys' bodies. The 2 boys
Yeah, no, I guess not any of those.
Spelled bodies wrong.
Look, I just...
both died due to the viewing of a hacked broadcast of a kids program titled The Adventures of Marcus and Andrew. A warning message would later be broadcasted, advising children to not watch the show. As a result of this incident, the 2 boys died tragically. The Harmony broadcast incident is believed to be connected to the cemetery break-in. And reinstating, these are the 2 boys that were killed back in the episode called The Toy Maker, who after watching the broadcast were subjected to death because of the cursed footage that they just watched.
Always seems to be something wrong.
Hey, I guess you're in the hyper-emotional stage of pregnancy, too. All right, boys, time to go.
I haven't even gotten a turn yet. Not as hog as it.
Johnny, give your father a turn.
So did I.
Got the fish.
I told her.
So yeah. But you came on Europe.
After this, we are shown an image of what Thomas looked like before he was turned into a Henry toy by his own father. And going back
Oh,
to
that's
the-
him?
Sorry, Mr. Darkness.
After this, we are shown
That's him? Pretty hot.
An image
Sorry.
of what Thomas looked like before he was turned into a Henry toy by his own father. And going back to the news article, Detective Harold Stewart is somebody that we have met before. Back in the episode where he answers a house call and ends up killing one of the Henry toy security guards.
We'll get for you.
Hey, kid, are you alright?
Wait till it
It's
was
alright.
just us.
It's alright. My name is Mrs. Stewart. Okay?
Long way to know for
I'm gonna
sure.
take you someplace safe.
Eagles!
Returning to Thomas's room, the ice cream man appears out of the closet and devours Henry, or at least what was left of him. And a little theory as to what I believe is happening here is that because we've seen in the past that Martin had no tolerance for his son Thomas, physically and verbally harming him throughout his entire life, even before he was a toy, it's pretty evident that he had no care for Thomas whatsoever. And eventually he just got sick of him and ordered his brother Arthur, the ice cream man, to end his son's life.
You don't follow through on anything.
All right. They got something on. Now I'm gonna go
The
out
next
and
scene
see
is
if
that
the
of a birthday
breathalyzer
celebration
will let me start my
left
car.
in shambles. And as to what exactly happened here, it is unknown. Either that or this scene is just completely going over my head, but I couldn't really find anything of meaning here. But if you guys find something here, please let me know in the comments. But this next segment is perhaps the biggest revelation in all of Harmony and Horror, proving a theory that we had in the past and unveiling an even bigger truth. So as we came up in previous episodes, we could deduce that Gloria was having an affair with Arthur, which was Martin's brother. But we never really knew the extent of that affair, just that there was something going on between the two. But with this shot of the ultrasound, we can pretty much conclude that because Martin was unable to have children of his own, Gloria had a child with Martin's own brother.
Dang.
The title of this video, The Miracle Child. I think it's a very strong theory to say that
Dang.
Gloria just never revealed this to Arthur and instead lied to him and told him that he, magically was able to have a child with her, even though that would be biologically impossible
Dang.
because of Martin's infertility. And so when Gloria got pregnant, Martin thought it was his own child. Therefore, in his mind, this was his miracle child, when in reality the child was of Arthur and Gloria, not
Dang.
Super high. Is this real? Are we?
What are you doing here?
Am I gonna be
Hey, got called into work at the last minute.
Although again, we still don't know the extent to this lie. We don't know if Gloria and Arthur were having an affair and accidentally got Gloria pregnant, or Arthur had, agreed to have a child with Gloria because Martin couldn't have one of his own, and agreed to be a part of this entire lie.
I bet he accidentally did it.
I'm not good at it.
They were having fun, boy. They were having.
It convinced Martin that he could have a child of his own.
Dang.
The tape reverts back to the perspective of Eddie, the child that encountered the demonic entity that was hanging around his Christmas tree. He goes on to say that, "I made a new friend today. He's really big and pink. He's a little scary, but also really shy. Maybe I finally have an imaginary friend. He also has a new Henry toy with him. I'm going to take a picture of him to show Mom and Dad when they get back." Eddie then grabs his camera and takes a photo of the creature, which reveals itself to be the creature created from the ice cream man's suit. A demon created from Arthur's innards, which at this point is pretty confusing considering we just saw Arthur alive and he was seen giving a speech having been freed from the ice cream.
He's a clone.
But I think this is
He ain't
a
real.
great time to mention that the man giving this speech is not Arthur, but
Mm-hmm.
rather
I know.
Martin disguising himself as Arthur.
I'm so sorry.
Are you?
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Oh. Oh my goodness. I just realized. Facepalm. Wow.
Now, this is something that I don't want to get into yet. I'm going to cover it a little bit later in the video because we still need to gather a bit more evidence. But I do want to mention that, this is not Arthur, this is Martin. Eddie
Dang.
again,
I didn't know that.
don't take pictures of Mr. Henry.
Wow.
He does not like to take pictures.
Does that mean I have
He
your
started crying
blessing
when I used
where
the
windbreaker?
camera.
Or
I
are you
told
going
him
to
I
hold
was
that
sorry.
too?
And he
You don't like
gave
the one
me
that I
a
brought all the
Ooh.
way from the
so
to me?
nice. And here it's pretty much confirmed that this is, in fact, Arthur. After Martin turned him into the ice cream man, he was able to free himself from the suit after attacking Martin, as we saw in the previous episode. However, on that night, Martin was not killed, but he was horribly injured. His scars aren't from escaping the ice cream man suit. They're from when he was attacked by his brother, Arthur, inside the ice cream man suit. After
Dang.
attacking Martin and
What a
assuming
plot
him dead,
twist.
Arthur left and is now seeking refuge in Eddie's house. In the next note, it states that the Henry toy came up to me and asked me if she could tell me a story. I told her how much I love stories. I hope she doesn't use too many big words. The Henry toy is an adult woman. And the story goes as follows. I cannot remember my name. These eyes are not mine. That cursed, maleficent lullaby has twisted my mind.
Wait, no, yeah.
Burning with passion under the toy maker's wing. Joy to the children I thought placed backstage, filled with dread and despair. He told me to wait.
Wow, you're
This
like
isn't
the
fair.
Walmart of
I kept my
unsolicited
composure
advice.
and tried not to
Just a
cry.
one-stop shop for
Then
all
I
my
heard
meddling
that
needs.
damn lullaby.
This is Amy Wilson.
Voice.
This is her.
It paralyzed my body and shook me into tears. It was then I felt I wasn't alone.
Matt. We have his name ready?
Right now.
Sorry.
Something had made my
Who's on your
body
boy?
its own. As
That ain't
quickly as
good.
my skin started to melt, there was no use begging for help. I fought for my life and began to crawl. Something was watching me. It was slender and tall, with black and white stripes covering its skin. It's smiling at me with a blood-red grin. This is the end. I'm going to die. All because of that damn lullaby.
Amazing!
Like a devil's whisper, gutting my
I
soul.
look
Sickening
amazing!
thoughts started to
Brain
unfold.
feels rested.
Don't be sad. It's better this way. Take my
That's like junior
hand.
high locker
It'll be
combination.
okay. Just close your eyes and say goodbye. Listen to my lullaby. I started to believe everything would be fine. That was until he ripped out. It's very interesting because literally I
Fine.
just read that right now. There's room to assume what that last line is based off of listen to my lullaby until he ripped out my. Hey guys, editor Wildman here. So I'm pretty sure I figured it out. I'm pretty sure it's my insides. So it'd be listen to my lullaby. I started to believe everything would be fine. That was until he ripped out my insides. But yeah, feel free to let me know if you think it's something
I'm
else.
gonna
'Cause
set up
it
an
could be.
Instagram account to showcase
But
my
it's pretty fair to assume that Martin has ripped out
Yeah.
innards and placed them
Yeah, it's
into the
her.
Henry toy as he does in this typical ritual fashion that we've seen before. However, as to who this is inside of the Henry toy, that's something we'll circle back to, although it is clear that this is a woman in the Henry toy.
The world can be a dangerous place, and it can be hard to ensure the safety of our children.
The next segment of
Bro got a whole police line for a children's car.
It's
Really
a
crazy.
busy commercial for the Henry security puppet, detailing how the world is not a safe
Oh.
place, and that Henry is here to protect your children.
This category
For me.
is responsible for monitoring behavior from adults, making sure that all adults respect the rules.
We're introduced to what is essentially a weaponized Henry military with 3 ranks of Henry security. At the bottom of the ranks is the Playtime Henry, following that is the Trooper Henry, and at the very top is the Commander Henry, which is the leader of the entire fleet.
Commander Henry is responsible for all the other Henry security puppets and gives commands for every action Henry makes.
And right off the bat, it becomes extremely strange how not one person thought this was the slightest bit suspicious that an entire fleet of weaponized toys are guarding him all. Although because the town has just witnessed a great tragedy with children being abducted and slaughtered by the masses, it does make sense why people would be accepting to this new regime taking place in the new Harmony Oakland, because people are so scared they're willing to put up with these militarized toys if it means their children will be safe.
Great too. Which is weird because we have great dental.
Talk about champ.
Thanks again, Ted. See you in the new year.
Here I am.
Let's go, Dad.
Call from the school saying that
Darling,
Thomas
honey.
was there today. Are you listening to me?
When great, she's great.
The final scene of the video is of Gloria coming home one day, asking Martin why Thomas wasn't at school today. But by the time that Gloria is home, Martin has already put the pieces together. He's discovered the truth about their, quote, miracle child. The children aren't his. In fact, he's known for quite some time. And at this point, Martin has just come home from skinning his brother Arthur and stuffing him inside the ice cream man, as we saw in one of the first episodes of the series.
Well, if I enjoyed doing it, it wouldn't be work.
First of all, was me, then my wife.
We could be more money.
Oh my god.
Martin demands Gloria to leave, and he gives her 30 seconds to run until he tries to kill her.
I love our kids. We have 3, right?
That I wouldn't find out at all.
I'll cancel the interview.
You know what you're talking about.
Don't you lie to me.
This might be the same talking. I want you to be happy.
I love you.
Okay.
No, what did you do to him? Where's my son? Where is my boy? Where is he?
I know it's been kind of frosty between us, and I thought a warm beverage might help thaw us Oh, hey. What did Ted mean when he said he would have hired me anyway?
And
You
the
like that?
tape concludes there. Although we already know the outcome of this night,
I had no idea.
Martin murders and skins his entire family
Interesting.
and turns them
I mean, he's
into
a friend. I
toys.
figured he might have a little insight.
I don't know Ted that well. I ran into him at Wawa and found
And
out
going back
where
to the
they
theory
met
that
the
this is in
three
fact Martin giving the speech and not Arthur, I mean, after going through this entire episode, the evidence stacks up significantly. First off, there's absolutely no way that Arthur would even be able to get his body back after the ritual
True.
Martin performed on him, fusing him into the ice cream man by skinning all of his flesh. Secondly, Arthur actually was able to escape the suits and made his way to Eddie's house, who offered him refuge. Arthur wasn't trying to attack Eddie, but was simply scared and apologizes after the fact. And lastly,
Aw.
perhaps the most important detail that this is Martin is that he says in his speech, "Having you guys back makes me so hungry," or something along those lines.
It
makes me to see these beautiful people back in the arms of their families.
Martin is posing as his brother, trying to convince people that the scars that Arthur inflicted on him when he tried to kill him are the the scars from being stuffed inside the suit, which would make sense as to why Martin has created this entire fleet of weaponized Henrys.
Wow.
He's using them to trap and kill more children, because Martin's reign is unfortunately still
Wow.
far from over.
Wow.
Another theory that I wanted to get into before we kind of wrap this whole thing up is that who the Henry doll traveling with Arthur is. And I think some people are under the speculation that this is Gloria, although I don't think that is the case, because Gloria became this sort of spirit as she was never turned into a toy, because Martin simply shot her the night he found out the truth about his children. But I do have a strong belief that this Henry toy traveling with Arthur is in fact the intern that Martin hired all those years ago, an intern named Amy Wilson.
This is about your
And I know there's not a lot of evidence to back this up,
I still like Morning Sun. Morning Sun's great. We could also go sit on our moon.
I like Mark in the morning. I worship morning sun, but now here you come.
I only agreed because.
and I know there's not a lot of evidence to back this up. It's kind of just based off of the note that she wrote. Joy to the children I thought I'd bring, placed backstage, filled with dread and despair. He told me to wait. This isn't fair. Within this little line, she states that she thought she'd be bringing joy to the children. So it seems like this was written by an employee that worked at the Harmony store who wanted to work with children. An employee named Amy Wilson. And one last thing is that there's a code in the description of this video that, if we decipher using a hex code, leads us to an unlisted video called I Wish You Sweet Sorrows. And within this short little tape, we are shown the weaponized Henry in action, hunting children down in the new Harmony location. So with that, the series as of now concludes as we wait in anticipation for the next installment in Harmony and Horror. Martin Graywinder is alive. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video.
Dang,
Thank you so
I
much
didn't-
for sticking around. Let me know if you really think this is Martin. And also, please
Dang.
don't forget to subscribe, as well as commenting bruh on this video. That would be a huge help at boosting me.
I am
Comments,
subscribed.
anything really, but
Oh, shoot.
it'd be funny if you commented this. Also, if you are interested, I also have a creepypasta channel where I read all sorts of creepypastas, as well as a new podcast that I just launched as well. So be sure to check those out, because